Welcome back. We're here at the Genesa ThoughtLab podcast, ready to bring you guys another stellar episode.
Yeah, this episode we sat down with David and Damon, professionally known as Van Damage. These guys have been part of the Edmonton scene for quite a while.
DJ Fossils, as they refer to themselves.
Yeah. They're also heavily involved with Freezer Burn, which is Alberta's local regional Burning Man event, which we talked a lot about Freezer Burn just because that's kind of what they're most involved in. And I think it's really, really cool the fact that we have one of those little split off pieces of Burning Man, like the local pieces that gets hosted every year.
And it really feels like Burning Man.
Yeah.
The way that the roads are laid out and labeled and named and just the general vibe in the community. Like it feels so much different from any other festival.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to get this out before tickets are on sale.
Yeah, probably not.
But
if
it happens to come out in time, then make sure you look it up. Look up Freezer Burn on Facebook, I think. Or do they have does Freezer Burn have like a actual website?
There's like a Freezer Burn general forum we can link to at least.
Yeah, okay, we'll put everything in the links, of course.
Yeah, write that down.
I will. I'll write it down later.
He's writing it down.
Yeah. What else? The Patreon campaign?
Yeah, Patreon, as always, up until summertime, basically. What was the date again? June 1st. He's good with dates. I'm not. Up until June 1st, we're running our Patreon campaign. We're looking to, I can't even remember what our goal is, to be honest with you, but we have a goal.
Well, on the Patreon site, it's $100 an episode. But I'm actually I don't know. Initially, I was thinking just go for half of that. But whatever. It seems to be well on its way, and we absolutely seriously thank you for contributing.
Serious thanks.
And if you perceive value in this funny little project that we got going on here, then check it out. It's patreon.com/the Genesa project. We have some perks. If you sign up before June 1st, there's some perks like free swag, limited edition
stickers,
stickers, and discounts to our shows that we host here in Calgary.
Discounts to our shows. We have 2 coming up.
Yeah.
Unannounced. I just announced it. I didn't fully announce it though.
By the time this comes out, whatever, we're doing an Astro Harvest pre-party as always.
A Shambhala pre-party.
Tackle a Shambhala pre-party this year.
Yeah.
To commemorate the fallen soldier that is Pagoda.
To be rebuilt, a phoenix from the ashes.
Rising from its ashes.
If you will.
I can't friggin' wait.
Yeah. Also, this episode brought to you by schwackcity.com.
Nice. Executed. Schwack City, our wonderful roommate, Eric, and my best man, actually. Him and Mike have started up a cool internet store. It's basically like a festival vendor in an online store, and they just launched it. It's called Schwack City.
T-shirts, those blow up T-Rex suits that you can get? They're selling those. Hats, jewelry, light up shit. Yeah,
they're basically going to specialize in everything that you'd want to have in festival culture. It's pretty cool. We have a promo code, I guess, if you want to buy something, you get 15% off if you use Genesa. So the promo code Genesa.
Promo code Genesa.
Got to spell it right, though.
Genesa. Check it out, schwackcity.com on the bottom here.
Right here.
If you're watching on the video, SHWACKCITY.
But yeah, for now, let's cut into this episode. It was a lot of fun. We had 2001: A Space Odyssey playing in the background. I don't know whether or not it's going to work on YouTube, if I'm going to have to block that out because of copyright.
That's a good point.
But either way, I'll just put something funny on there, or just flip it around and put it upside down. Who knows?
I think if you flip it around, it negates it because it searches for certain images and stuff.
We will find out.
We'll find out. But then Schwack City's going to be backwards.
I'll figure it out. For now, enjoy this talk with David and Damon. These guys are Van Damage, and this was a really fun conversation. See you guys later.
Bye, friends.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. Yes.
We're here with the self-proclaimed fossils.
The Van Damage.
The rave scene.
In Edmonton, yeah. DJ Fossils who are still doing shit for some reason.
Well, I'm Tanner.
I am Callie.
You guys want to do proper formal introductions?
I'll let this guy go first because he's the better half.
I'm Damon, and this is
David.
Damon and David.
And we are from Van Damage.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys are heavily involved with freezer burn. Is that it? Is the only one that you guys kind of work with? Or?
Stage building wise, yeah.
it's our main focus, typically.
Yeah, it wasn't something that we kind of fell into it. We got booked to DJ there, and when we went there, we were not really thinking too much past like, okay, this is just another DJ gig. But as soon as we got there, we saw what was happening. They had this little effigy that was maybe as tall as me.
Yeah.
Cute.
And they had to get like people to hold it up because they didn't know how to like secure it into the ground. So as they burnt it, they were like balancing and then they just ran out and
Sounds
lit
safe.
it on fire. Oh, totally not safe at all. But no, it was awesome.
And this was 2008, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For people that don't know, Freezer Burn is our local Alberta regional Burning Man event, which is kind of cool because that's probably the coolest thing about Burning Man. And a lot of people say that the regionals are the future, right? That's what Burning Man is going to kind of permeate into, is how it's spreading all over the world. I mean, Africa Burn, I think, is the biggest one, right? And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
One of our friends, Jessica, she went to it last. Was it last year? It was the year before.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Yeah, she just decided, like, fucking going to Africa and doing this.
There's a guy out of Calgary named Norm. I think he went to that too last year.
Norm Rye?
Norm
Yeah,
Rye.
Norm Rye. Yeah. I think who doesn't know that guy?
He's got one of the most, like, recognizable, just, like, ness.
Aura?
Like, just general aesthetic.
He was the one that gave us those cards.
Yeah. We met him, I think, at Republic. He was wearing like this cool samurai straw hat with his dreads coming out the top and like down his ass. And he came up and he had these little cards printed out that was just like, "You're fucking awesome. Like, keep that shit up." And it was just like the greatest thing. And it had a little tiny hymn down in the bottom corner. So I knew that I was
The Dread Eye Knight.
Yeah, totally.
No, it was like him as the
Burning-
man though.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like the logo sort of, but just like with his dreads and his little samurai hat.
Yeah, I remember that was like the first time I ever really experienced something that was just that kind of like what burners do, just that creating their own little tiny things to give away.
Gifting. Yeah.
I carried that in my wallet for a long time, not really knowing like where it came from or even what Burning Man was or like any of the ideals at the time.
Yep. Shout out to Norm.
Yeah, straight up.
Good job, Norm.
Straight up inspiration.
It's trippy. Like when I talk to people about Freezer Burn, I literally tell them that if you were to take a cookie cutter of Burning Man or of Freezer Burn, stick it in Burning Man, and then put it back in that organic elk form, it's basically that.
Oh, I know.
And the thing that's cool is for us Alberta people, going to Burning Man is so far. You know, you have to kind of like streamline your shit that you're taking with you. You know, so like the hippo, for example, they kind of downsize it and make sure it's just like the bare minimum to go. But here, it's like an hour away, so you can really, what's a good word? A good example, blow your load.
I'm surprised the hippo can make it up that super rickety hill.
Oh yeah.
There's been some good attempts. And down the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, down the hill. Yeah, behind the saloon. It's always a risky place.
Yeah. What's it called? It's an elk ranch. What's the name of the place?
Wow. I'm not.
We're all
knew it last
incredibly
time.
knowledgeable.
Yeah, for sure.
Write that down. Figure that out.
I do know the owner's name, but
Yeah.
I have no idea what the farm is called.
It's such a beautiful piece of land.
I know. I don't know how they found it, but it's awesome. It's in the middle of kind of nowhere, and the sun rises and the weather changes, and for some reason that valley, like, weather systems move around it, so you always get cool visuals.
Yeah,
of
the fog.
the sky pouring and shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You were there like 2 years ago. Do you remember when that big storm came in?
Came out of nowhere.
I've never seen this guy like that. It was just so much character, like so much detail in this cloud, and then it just fucked shit up.
You hear a lot
Actually,
about that. Sorry, go ahead.
I think that was the one that blew over the Rebel base camp or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Destroyed the carports and stuff.
That's like, who was saying it? Zoltan, the guy who used to throw Freezer Burn. He says like the weather is like our desert. You know, like that's our, like you have to survive the elements.
Yeah.
You know? Like you have
That rainstorm.
right? Or snow or wind, or I don't think there's been snow yet, but
That rainstorm came out of nowhere like a dust storm can.
Yeah,
Quite
totally.
often.
One thing that I think is notable about having something like Burning Man on grass, it was the fact that there's like a team of people running around as the effigy burns, like putting out all the little fires and grass around, just so that it doesn't take the whole piece of land with it.
Right.
It's, you know, like I guess the burn started on a beach in San Francisco, right? Mm-hmm. And it was never really supposed to be anywhere where there was flammables that things were going to get caught up, but here we are. I wonder how many registered burns there are. Is there like are they listed on the website? Like, is Freezer Burn listed on their website?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never actually checked into that, how many regionals there are. I know BC's got one.
Yeah, Burn in the Forest.
Yeah, I've been hearing lots about that.
Yeah.
We've actually been kind of like debating taking our stage there.
Yeah.
Because the thing I've heard at least is that their level of art is like next level compared to Freezer Burn, but their sound stages are kind of still growing and figuring out that shit. So we've been debating it, but it hasn't actually come to fruition yet. But that's like a bigger goal we have of like a Canada burn, but that's a whole other conversation.
Totally. So let's talk about the stage, the Grove. Is this a stage that you guys incepted, or did you become involved with the stage through someone else?
The Grove started with Marcus and a guy named Dimitri.
Yeah.
And Dimitri is like the office, like laptop guy of the crew. Like he's got Google Docs for everything. You know what I mean? Like if you want a Google Doc from Freezer Burn 2010, he's got it. You know, he's got all the notes. He's great with that. And my friend Mark, one of my best friends, he's the like builder, like put the nails in the wood and create the thing. And in 2010, they wanted to make like a beach stage, you know, down by the river where it's called Space Grove now, but we'll get into that. They wanted to make like a live acoustic stage, and there wasn't any of that at that time. In 2010 there was, I don't even think there was.
No, there wasn't.
Was there a sound stage on? Well, like Rory was doing his thing, but there wasn't much going on. So it started off as like a little stage with a Canadian Tire tent like everybody else starts, and then it just kind of grew exponentially till we decided to work with the Space Gnomes. It was more like how can I word it? 4 old farts wanting to cut their jobs in half, basically. Because like the Space Gnomes have been doing their own thing forever. We've been kind of doing our thing, and they wanted to evolve, and we wanted to a little bit, and working together with. That's the one thing about Freezer Burn. There's a lot of doers. You know, you'll find people. You just have to look around, and there's people doing something. Yeah. So when you are surrounded by other doers, it's really inspiring. So when we like hook up with them, it made our jobs easier, but now we just have more resources and things to work on. So it's kind of grown into this, where it used to be literally me and my friend Mark would stay there until Monday, and this guy every once in a while would come if he could get off work, and we would be there days after tearing it down by ourselves. Yeah,
because you guys build like a solid 2x6 frame structure, right?
Yeah, we use like
a little shed.
For sure. We wanted to make sure there was a roof, you know, for anything outside. So yeah, it's been kind of something we fell into, and now we've kind of outgrown it a little bit, or it's kind of bigger than us. Yeah. Like I just do like little aspects of it.
And it was something to withstand the rainstorms as well, right? That we might get.
Now, do you reuse that stage every year, or do you guys?
Yeah, every year we try to just like build on it. Yeah. Last year was our first year working with the Space Gnomes. Before that, it was just the Grove, and we had our honeycomb design thing. That was our thing for a while. But yeah, it's been how can I word it? It's been like a roller coaster ride, basically, you know, like from one year when, like I was saying, we were there for days after tearing down till last year when we were torn down, like middle of Sunday. We're like nothing left to do. It's like, whoa. This is what happens when you surround yourself with doers,
right?
You know, because we went through those struggles of people saying, "Oh yeah, we'll help you for sure, sure." And then when that time comes, you're like, "Where is everybody?"
Yeah, everybody's keen to do the pre-show work and do the setup, but then when the hangover hits of an entire weekend,
oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
There was at Burning Man, I think it was this past year, people were handing out stickers that if like.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't like help tear down their geodesic dome or help them set it up,
somebody came out and passed me a sticker. It was just like a little white round sticker, and it had a picture of a geodesic dome and a cross over it, and it was around the side. It just said, "No, I will not help you set up your dome."
Yeah, because they're just like calling people in from the grounds anyway.
Yeah.
Usually people help.
That should be like a burner, on a list of things to like not get involved in. Like if you see someone putting up a dome, it's like, oh, I got something to do over here. You know, like everybody who puts up a dome, they're always looking for help.
Yeah.
Dome is like definitely a burner thing, but they're cool. I like them.
Yeah, no, I love seeing just the designs of what you see out for domes out there. for the Clue camp. Actually, I got to get a new one of these. Callie broke it yesterday. Just like tugged on it and warped it.
Calm down.
But anyway, their camp had this geodesic dome. I still can't wrap my head around how it is built. Like all of them, like they're triangles that like go past each other kind of thing and like overlap. And it just does that all the way around. And I'm just like, how the hell do
It's like a psychedelic flower star pattern kind of thing.
Right.
And then all the hexayurts, like the ones made out of like the 1-inch styrofoam. Like, just to be able to survive in the desert, like the mother of invention is necessity, right? And it just drives you to build these crazy structures.
Our buddy Ray made a hexagon like that, or not what are those called? A yurt kind of, made of that like thin, shiny, reflective stuff. And we went to Burning Man 15, and there was definitely like a lot of windstorms and dust storms, and there was yurts all over the place. But his stood up, and I don't know how. He's a nerd though. But
well, you gotta make like a harness that holds the peak, and then you ratchet it down to stakes outside, and like use some solid ratchet straps. Cause
see, what he did was we put a tarp down, and we put the yurt on top of the tarp, and then you fold the tarp up around the outside, and then you tape. He had this crazy hardcore tape that went all the way around, and just the weight of all of our stuff inside it held the yurt down. We didn't put any. I don't think we put any pegs down. I guess we just
just make sure you bring a lot of shit.
Well, coming from Alberta, we definitely had lots of shit. We used like our water to hold it down, and it held actually pretty good. I was well impressed because that's
not a bad idea.
There was a lot of dust storms that year. But
so, what do you guys have planned for Freezer Burn 2017 for the Grove?
Well, I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Everything,
sure, why not? Well, like our stage, we want to make the stage a bit longer, because now that we're working with the Space Gnomes, they do like the variety show, Meat and Metal. They do all these different daytime events. So something we're trying to do is make the stage longer, so people have more of a space to perform on, because that's something we find. You know, it kind of looks like a Tetris piece where there's this little outcropping at the front. We want to like lengthen that. So
you were in that one of those.
I was auctioned off last year.
Right, the Bachelorette auction, one of those. Party time. Did you have your date yet? Did that actually happen?
No. Who was it that even? I can't even remember who bought me.
I'm pretty sure you were gunning for it.
Oh my God. She's standing right there.
Was it you that got it?
No, it was somebody else. It was somebody else. I was Olga.
Oh yeah,
I was Olga, the butch lesbian from Mars.
Right, I do remember that. Right.
Oh jeez, I have video of that on my phone.
Oh my God, please show me.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's the one thing about the Bachelorette auction. Sometimes the dates don't actually happen.
Yeah.
So it's cool to hear when they actually do.
Well, the stakes are high.
For sure.
Like, party time makes it so like you've got to do like 50 hours of community service or something.
There was one girl named Amaranth. She had to throw decomp, like the after party,
which is no easy task.
No, definitely not.
Even for people that are good at throwing.
Did she do it?
Yeah, for sure. She did it for sure. She got the Renarnia people to do the stage. Did you guys ever see the stage?
Oh yeah. No, we saw it.
There, right?
We weren't there. We couldn't make it to decomp for whatever reason.
No, we couldn't make it up for that
life.
Life stuff.
But no,
did she get her date though?
Yeah, I was with my friend Marcus. yeah, I was with my buddy Marcus. Yeah,
that's awesome. So I guess like to describe to people who haven't been there, how would you describe like the shenanigans like that go on at the stage, these variety hours and
you want to have a go at that?
It's all your wildest dreams come true.
Basically,
stage form.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing. Like you can kind of do whatever. Like the Meat and Metal, I kind of mentioned. People play metal music and cook bacon at Sunday morning.
That's awesome.
And they'll cook the pig on the effigy. Like when it's burning. After it falls down, they put the pig in there and they cook it with like the effigy.
Yeah.
We do a variety show where you can do whatever you want. You know, we have people who dance, we have people who sing or stand-up comedy or whatever. So it gives people an opportunity not only to see someone get out of their comfort zone, but do it themselves and be surrounded by people who are supporting, you know? Like one thing I used to say to people about Freezer Burn, the burlesque show, I think it's one of the cats going crazy or something.
Cats in the sink.
Right. Isn't that a song? No. A burlesque show. So like if you think of like Vegas, like a burlesque show there, you know, there's a certain type of person who's in that show, like a body type, for example. And when you go to Freezer Burn, there's people of all shapes, all sizes doing whatever they want, because the people who are there, they care about what you do, not how you look doing it, you know, like what you're wearing or what your hair looks like or shit like that. So it's a very welcoming community to give people a chance to grow. So
I think it gives people a nice opportunity to not just be a participant, to to just be able to like get up and like be a part of that variety show. Like you might not have. I didn't plan on being auctioned off.
Right.
Rob actually talked me into it.
Yeah, just last minute, just make it happen.
Right.
One thing I really like about Freezer Burn, as compared to Burning Man, is like Burning Man, there's the huge book of all the things that are happening, and you're almost better off just picking a direction and just walking, and just happenstancing across whatever your adventure is going to be. But Freezer Burn is like, there's only five sound stages usually at the most, and the one thing that I really like about it is that they kind of get to each have their own moment, this night is this stage's party, and like the whole festival really goes to that one stage for that one night to party there. So you don't have to compete, you don't have to worry about splitting the crowd too much. It kind of shifts the energy intentionally, the funk jam's going to be at the Grove or whatever it is, and everybody in the festival is in like the same spot, and I love that about it.
And that's the cool thing, because like all the stages, like we're all kind of friends, the Space Gnomes, the Bass Bus, we all kind of chat with each other, and we kind of have this like unofficial, like we work together. For sure with the Space Gnomes, we were legit like, okay, you're doing this thing here, we'll do this thing here. So it was kind of like, I hit the table. It was kind of like a natural, like a natural growth together. But with being friends with everybody there, it gives that like freedom to create your schedule where you aren't really competing. But there's also, it's getting to the point where there's enough people where you're not going to have to.
That was partially the shift between the Rocket stage on the Friday night and working together to make the Space Grove, is to not spread anybody too thin. It's a lot of work to set up a sound stage, especially of that size. So to have everybody work together, and to be able to have everybody also, rather than just work on a stage, but be able to experience the festival as well, that really helps too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's nice to have that open like communication where you can build the thing, because that's something that's huge for us. Like having the whole experience cool, not just like one or few little things here that are happening. That's awesome. Where rather than having the whole experience be amazing, so no matter where you go, you're going to have something cool happening, rather than like, okay, tonight it's here, tomorrow night it's here, and then we like walk around. So
look at these sweet grip shoes. Sorry, I never noticed that. We're watching 2001: A Space Odyssey.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen this movie.
Yeah. I love this movie. We'll tune out now.
Is the capacity on Freezer Burn bumping up again this year?
Yeah, I think it's gonna. Don't quote me. I'm not LEA. But I think it's gonna go to 1,000 people.
1,000.
I wonder what the capacity of the lands are.
That's up to debate, because you can always move that fence, like where the main campground is. You can always push it back farther and farther, and that's kind of like an issue that some people have, is there is a lot of space there, but it's also like I'm sure there's some politics involved that I'm not keen to, so I can't really speak on it.
All the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, it's good that it's growing the way that it does, because they're trying to kind of teach people like how to festival properly. Our stage, for example, we used to have a garbage can and a recycle bin. You know what I mean? And one is blue and one is not. And you would have words on it that say garbage and recycle. And then by the end of the weekend, there's half garbage in the recycle and half bottles in the garbage.
It's dark. People are drunk or don't care.
Right. Yeah. So then we just got rid of them. And then people would come up and they're like, well, where do we put our garbage? It's like,
figure it out.
It's yours. What would you do if we weren't here? Like, where would you put it then?
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of thing where you teach people it's not that hard to try just a little bit. If you pick up 3 cans as you're walking to your camp, if everybody did that, this place would be, it is spotless anyway. That's something that's also cool about the Freezer Burn and the Burning Man community. Leave no trace. Yeah.
And encourage to bring your own drinking vessel, which is something that, like, out at the Burn, there's not garbage and recycling bags everywhere like there would be at Coachella. Not that anybody uses them at Coachella, from what I've seen. That's just like a sea of bottles that people are swimming through.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's strict, but it's like peer enforced at Burning Man. It's not really something that, there's not big signs everywhere saying you like don't throw your garbage out. It's just the first thing that
you get publicly shamed if you drop something on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, in the nice way, like most people will tell you, that's the first thing you learn about the Burning Man community is that leave no trace. Like, bring your own cup.
Right.
Don't, if you have garbage, put it in your backpack, take it back to your camp, deal with it yourself, take it out. And lots of festivals try and preach that, but nobody pulls it off. Like,
I know, it's odd.
That's the thing about like stuff like beer cans and stuff, is you pack a bunch in your backpack for when you want to go traveling around. They're twice as light and take up half the space as they do when you first take them out.
Stomp on it or something.
You stomp on it. It's
that's
fun.
kind of a game. Yeah, it's fun. It's like a game. You know, make this not like stab me in my foot or something.
Yeah.
Right. But then my backpack's going to get all wet. Well, figure out where your priorities lie.
Yeah. Bring a bag. Yeah. Like a plastic bag or something. Yeah.
I like the fact that it has like come back into our home lives, you know, into just our everyday lives. Just you kind of treat the land around you better no matter what after experiencing what it's like out there.
Right. It's hopefully like leading by example, you know.
Yeah.
If you see a person not you would expect, like I met a guy at Burning Man, for example. We were playing on the Hippo at it. They have a trash fence party there.
Yeah.
And there was this guy.
Was Daft Punk there?
No, I think we played the night before. That's like the oldest burner joke out there. Some people hate that shit. There was a guy riding his bike, and if I would just see that guy on the street, he looked like a bum, and he was pulling a little wagon. So he stopped beside us, and he says that he was at this party 2 years before. And what he's doing is he's biking along the trash fence, picking up garbage.
Aww.
At 3 a.m.
Aww.
On a Wednesday night, some random dude. And me, you know, when I first saw the guy, I was like, wow, that guy, I was judging him by how he looked. I was being that way. And then when he says, oh yeah, I'm just driving around picking trash, it's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I was not expecting that. That's like a lesson for me to take out of here. Don't judge people by how they look. You know, it's just another way.
Even as a smoker, like there was a couple times, it was our first year actually, where you'd just be biking along, like lose track of your friends or whatever. I see like a cigarette butt on the ground or anything on the ground. You bend down, you pick it up, and there's always somebody biking past you just being like, hey man, thanks for doing that. So now like even in my day-to-day life, taking that extra time to, you know, like empty the tobacco out of the butt of your smoke and walk it over to a garbage can. Right. It's not that fucking hard.
It really isn't. And it feels good. You know, like it feels like it gives you a little bit of like a reward. You know, it makes like all the hard work you do, or when you pick up someone's gross cigarette butt, having someone thank you is a nice thing.
Yep. It's a pretty great place.
Love it.
So is Freezer Burn, and honestly, like if they're gonna bump it up to 1,000 tickets and it coincides with Inshallah, I feel like it won't be as hard to get tickets this year as it was last year.
We'll see, though. I don't know. It sold out in 6 seconds. Oh, no, wait. No, 6 minutes, maybe, last year?
I think it was 6 minutes, online.
Yeah, it did not take long.
It's ridiculous to think about, just the growth of it, you know, when it was 70 people. I think the first Freezer Burn was, like, in a hall in Calgary. I'm not 100% sure. That's like a fairy tale or something like that. Yeah, lore, thank you. That's the word. I don't know the whole story behind it, but I think it was just, like, someone decided, you know, I'm going to do this. I want there to be a thing here. And there's a huge burner community here, so it was like just good timing, I think. But is that a cat doing something?
I think the cat has a bottle cap.
It's like the friggin' kryptonite for podcasts is a cat with a bottle cap.
Or cats with a bottle cap. Right.
So you guys called yourselves DJ Fossils. Let's talk about like the life and times of Van Damage.
So do you want like where it started?
Well, yeah. Did you guys you guys all started on separate paths and then found each other?
Yeah, that's true.
You can go first.
Well, when did you start DJing?
2002.
And I think I was maybe 2 years ahead, 2000.
2000.
And just, I think it would be like a mutual want for a musical and just a better music scene together. Like that was kind of where it started. And you were playing, what were we playing? House music together?
Yeah, when we first started, it was definitely house music. I was throwing this Sunday. So in Edmonton, there used to be 4 after-hours clubs. And
4?
There was 4.
Wow.
There was one called Sublime, one called G-Spot, Climax, and then Therapy.
These are all amazing names.
Right? Isn't it? It's like all the things about it.
Oh, man.
And then G-Spot actually turned to Ever After.
Okay.
But Ever was spelled E-V-A-R. So if it was backwards, it said rave. Yeah, it was clever. But anyway, there was also this nightclub called Majestic, which was like the first electronic club, at least in our generation, where you could go and hear rave music. And that in 2002, that was like not something that you would, not as freely as it is now. You have to turn on the TV and there's a commercial with dubstep. But they used to do a Sunday there where all the after-hours clubs would close, and then people would go to this bar, and it was open from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m., and you could go there and just after-party at this club. So we took that when Majestic closed, and I was hosting it with another guy, and we booked him to play, and it was kind of like history from that point. he tagged with us, I think, or he tagged with me, and our sounds just gelled. And
that's back when we were spending $15 for a piece of vinyl.
Yeah, $17 for one song.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't know. The sound of vinyl is. I miss it. I miss the feel, the depth of it, you know?
Yeah.
I remember seeing Benga play at Shambhala in like 06, I think. Yeah. He was one of the last vinyl sets that I saw at that party. Yeah. And the way that the sound was like next level.
Yeah, I can't remember when this was. It was years ago now, but it was it was Flame Central, and it was DJ Newmark and Matt the Alien and Cut Chemist, I think it was. Right. And the three of them, it was an all 45s night, and they just had crates lined up behind them, and it was just all of them collaborated and put their record collection together, and it wasn't like standard set times. They just did like half an hour, 40 minutes each, and then they'd switch around, and then sometimes they'd jam, and it was so cool listening to like this ancient collection of all these 45s, like all the, disco. Like,
was that what you were saying, that they would like come out to the crowd and like hold like 3 different 45s in front of them?
No, that's actually Joe Nice.
Oh, yeah.
It was Blaine from Subshocker. He was telling us like Joe Nice is like a dubstep selecta, like fucking like the really roots deep stuff. And I guess he does this thing called Grab Bag, where he's got all of his records. Lots of them are like, one-offs, just
white
amazing.
labels.
Yeah, just amazing pieces of music. And he'll run up to the crowd and he'll just hold out 6 or 7 and he'll just be like, pick one. And someone will pick one.
Like a magician.
And he'll grab it and he'll throw it on immediately. And
right.
He's apparently really, really impressive to see live.
You can't really do that with a laptop.
No.
Just pick one.
Just turn it around, like hold it out.
Then check your email while you're there. The thing about vinyl is just like the sound of it, the depth, the clarity. My dad was a vinyl collector, and when he passed away, me and my sister inherited his collection. And I got like 10,000 vinyl. So
wow,
I'd rather move your fridge than vinyl because there's no boxes made for it. So like the boxes that I have these things in, my dad would be sad, but we're building like a collector for it, like a display. But the sound is just so much cleaner. The bass is deeper, the highs are like crisper. Like you don't have to worry about like as much ear damage as.
Now that's a conversation that I'd love to have with somebody who knows like the real hard scientific facts of this the quality of it. Yeah, because if you think about it, like a wave file is like a certain amount of kilobytes per second, right? There's a certain amount of data per second. So if you zoom in on that waveform sufficiently, like if you get down enough, you're going to see the pixels of the quality of that waveform. Now, vinyl, on the other hand, is limited by how precise it was cut into the wax itself, and there's got to be a depth or like a limit there as well.
For sure.
And I wonder where those two lie. I wonder when it comes to
there's a spot,
the amount of information, right? Because you're just like the pixel depth of the amount of song information that's being played is what would actually create a better or more cleaner, warmer sound. Because otherwise, the argument doesn't make much sense to me. Because it's like, how can it, like, if it's just a needle translating the waveform into electricity into the speaker, so is the waveform on a computer. It's really it's doing the exact same thing. So I've always been so curious to sit down and talk with somebody that would be like a mad scientist to figure this out. Like, for like,
why does it sound better?
Yeah,
because it definitely does.
I, for one, love the sound of. Did we lose the? Yeah. Oh no, it was just a scene change. Never mind. I, for one, love the little artifacts that you get when you listen to a vinyl. Just the dust on the record. So there's something about that adds
that crackle.
Yeah,
for sure.
That crackle.
I played a vinyl set 2 weekends ago for the first time in like a year.
Yeah,
and there's definitely something to like. You feel like you're actually a DJ.
Yeah.
Like now we use our iPads and we use Ableton Live to play. So I don't even tell people that we DJ anymore because we're not even like there's no discs.
MP3J.
Professional button pushers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's no discs. I'm not jockeying anything up here.
Yeah.
There's just like.
Some people prefer to call it mix artistry.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Tanner and I have a hard time with that too. It's just like people ask like, oh, like what do you do in your spare time? It's like I DJ because everybody and their dog's a DJ. It's nothing impressive anymore, like.
Yeah, I've never considered myself a super talented DJ. I've never been one of those people that's been like, I'm a DJ
shit.
Or I'm a really good DJ. I just happen to, like, as a hobby, I really love to mix music together. It's friggin' fun.
Yeah.
Like, you get a serious dopamine rush. Just like especially when you're feeding off a crowd back and forth. Like nothing. If you take the hardware and the complications of that out of the equation and just talk about, playing music for a crowd and getting that reciprocation. That's what it's all really about. Right. So there's a certain level of that whole conversation about all the people bitching about what you're using that is like, it matters, but in the end, like sometimes it doesn't. Like especially, it only matters if the person that's up there doing something is saying they're doing something else or acting like they're doing something more. Right? It's if they're not up there like saying I'm a superstar DJ, then like they're up there just having fun. Just let them have fun. There's kind of a humility to it.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with all the technology being commonplace now, with all the MIDI controllers and controllerists, I find those conversations happen a lot less. It used to be kind of the old analog mentality versus the new digital mentality, and that doesn't seem to happen as much, maybe because it's a little bit more commonplace.
Well, when did you guys see Serato becoming commonplace?
When they had that ad campaign that was like, Serato, everyone's a DJ. Did you guys see that?
No.
You guys didn't see that? That was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Bring it up.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's like Serato's ad campaign. It was like, Serato, everyone's a DJ. It's like, wow, perfect. This is exactly what we need.
Jack. Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah. Jack's licking my beer. Just get a picture of that.
He likes beer. He's a true pirate cat.
We're good parents. We're great parents.
Well, they got to, rather than you do it, they do it in front of you then, when you're not around.
I'm sorry. Ever since we got kittens, they just kitten bomb every podcast. You can't not.
Check out the images, maybe.
So, I mean, Serato is a wonderful product. It's made it available for people to play around with mixing music. Okay, I want the rest of my beer, Jack. But I guess if you search Serato, everyone's a DJ, you're gonna get all of the threads bitching about that rather than like the actual ad campaign.
The thing about it, like, being able to read a crowd is something that not very many people, I think, realize is a huge part of it. My first DJ set, I tried to plan everything out. Had all my vinyl online. I'm going to play this and this and this and this row. 3 songs in, it was not happening. The crowd was not feeling it. Yeah. I didn't know what to do. I just kept playing, and it was terrible. But I learned from that point. It's like, okay, I can't pre-plan these things. Crowds change. We play a club in Edmonton called the Y After Hours, and we could play a set on a Saturday night, and it would go off, and then we could play that same set the next weekend, clear a dance floor. And I think also every DJ needs to clear a dance floor in their career.
Have a little bit of a humbling experience.
I find a common question. People will say, "Hey, what are you guys going to play tonight?" And this one really wants to know what I'm going to play tonight.
Jack.
But
come here.
We don't have an answer for that anymore, just because we're genre blind, and I think that's a really, really good skill to have now.
Yeah. Just being multi-genre, being like available to dive into whatever. I appreciate that.
And the technology helps that. Like when we were playing with vinyl, it's like, okay, you have this drum and bass track, it's 87 BPM, and we want to play breaks later on.
Rewind.
Right. Right. But that gets old real quick. I'm sure we've all heard that 8,000 times. But technology gives you more freedom. You have all of your songs available to you right there. Before it was like, okay, I got this record bag with 60 songs in it. Hopefully these will be good tonight. If not, I'm fucked. That's all I got here. But with technology, it's amazing. You can adapt and grow and take the crowd up for a ride. You don't have to like be tied down to analog shit and basic. It's awesome.
Well, it's neat too that like if you go for like a jam session like over at one of your friends' houses or something, and you're working with their music that might not be as familiar to you, you don't necessarily have to know it. Just with the software and like keying and stuff like that, you can literally just hang out with a friend and be able to lay down tracks that don't sound like ass.
Right.
Sound like ass.
Sound like ass. The butt trumpet.
Ow. Speaking of butt trumpet.
His butt's like in your face. We call that the brown note.
So you guys are playing tonight at Festival Hall, which I'm sure you guys will love it. It's a really cool little venue.
Lust for Dust.
Yeah.
Halfway to Burning Man, supposedly.
Supposedly?
Yeah. So we have friends who build a big purple hippopotamus. I think you guys know who they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they've been Burning Man for a while. I think Kane has went to Burning Man like a decade ago, maybe more than that. And they're going back this year, and it'd be like going to the Burn and having a yurt and then going to a tent. It's like having an art car or not having an art car.
Yeah.
They don't want to go without an art car. So
they're going back with it this year?
They're going back with the Hippo this year. So
they said that they were going to retire it.
Yeah. No, this is like an encore performance. I think it's more just like personal, like we want to go to the burn and have our art car here.
Yeah. I love that the Hippo has a tutu for Tuesday.
Right?
It makes me so happy.
I forgot about that. Yeah. And that's another cool thing about the community is how original people are, the things they come up with. You know, you can go to Burning Man and whatever you imagine, you will probably see there, you know. And having like the LEA, for example, if you want to build something at Freezer Burn, they'll give you money for it. And that is a rare thing. You know, there are some festivals out there that do it, but not very many, you know, not in the mainstream, that's for sure.
Even last night when we were hanging out with Cal and Sarah, Peter was kind of asking, like, why have you guys been applying for grants for the events that you host? Because there's a lot of grant money for the arts in that respect. And
I said no, and he's like, why? I was like,
I don't know. Yeah, he was like, dude, let's sit down and talk about this, because he's like, what the League of Extraordinary Albertans do and what Burning Man does is the whole point of it is to inspire to create art. So the ticket sales, like a large portion of it, go to funneling down to grants for people to create art for everybody to enjoy at the festival.
Right. And that's the thing that is like inspiring is, you know, I think last year someone made like these little dead baby dolls, and they just had them like all over. I don't know if you guys saw them at Freezer Burn last year, but along like
were they on the path?
Yeah, there's one on the path. Yeah. It's an art installation.
Yeah, someone got paid money to do that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I want to put some dead baby dolls with all this weird makeup and like piercings on these poles. It's like, sure, here's $300.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this place.
Yeah, part of what that adds actually is they come back every year. It's in different iterations sometimes. People are like, these were a great hit last year, but I can improve on it. And then every year it just continues to snowball.
Yeah, dude. We found a wicked camp at Burning Man. Our first year was the Barbie Death Camp, and it was just hundreds of these naked, maimed Barbies being marched into this oven by these Nazi soldiers. Some of them are being like eaten by sharks at the crotch, and like
they had multiple Barbie. Like they had multiple art installations, and all of them were some way just massacring hundreds and hundreds of Barbies.
Oh my god!
And I was impressed.
That's amazing.
I was impressed. And we saw it last year too, and it was just all new ones, just thinking up new ways to fuck up Barbies.
That's the cool thing about it. There's so much opportunity, you know.
Yeah. Well, there was the vegan death camp too, or the vegan. Or insult to vegan or whatever. They were giving you at the bar. They were giving you shots of Spam and like blended bacon and stuff. You know I did that.
Yeah, you did. It was disgusting.
I'm not leaving without trying that.
Shot of Spam.
Yeah, it wasn't actually that bad.
No, there was Spam. It was Spam with alcohol, wasn't it?
I think. I don't remember. I probably should have asked. I was like, just give me whatever you got.
I think it's a safe assumption. You know, there's free alcohol everywhere, which surprises a lot of people when I tell them that. You know, it's like, yeah, you can go walk up to this bar and drink free booze. They're like, what?
He's like, wait, what?
But that's only like a couple places, right? No, the entire festival is like this.
Most of the art cars.
They're gonna have some cool mix for you to enjoy. They'll have some like original name you've never heard of before. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
I was trying to tell Fran all about it last night because our friend, she's never been before, and she's pretty keen on coming with us this year. So she's just like, okay, so like, what do I have to bring to trade? Like, so there's no money, right? So I have to bring stuff to trade. And it's like, it's not exactly how it works.
Right.
It's not like that at all.
That's if you want to. You know, you shouldn't be asking people like, what should I bring? It's like, no, what do you
shouldn't
want
feel
to bring?
obligated.
Yeah, if you want to bring something, do it. You know.
I felt really pressured my first year too, and actually it was Colton. He was part of Renarnia. Yeah, and Colton was the one that kind of calmed me down and was just like, dude, you don't need to be bringing physical objects. You don't need to worry about that. He said like sometimes just like you can be a pleasure to be around. You know, just like bring your energy, bring your fucking like your character, and just like light up someone's day a couple times a day. Just go and make them smile.
Right.
And that really like hit me. I was like, wow.
Compliment them when they pick up a cigarette butt.
Yeah. Exactly.
Full circle.
Or be that guy to pick up a cigarette butt.
Right.
Totally. Now I want to go to Burning Man. It's like all the things talking about Burning Man.
But it's that time of year, you know. The sun's still up. It's 5 o'clock, you know.
Yeah, we saw it last night, 6:30. We're like, oh my God, it's not dark yet.
Yeah. Are you guys going this year to the Burn?
Negative. No. There's a lot of people going, and there's something to that. You know, a lot of our friends are going to Hippo and the Space Gnomes, a lot of people. But being the role that, at least for me, I don't know about Damon, I like to work when I'm at those things. You know, like when I'm at Freezer Burn, you barely see me walking around the camp. I'm usually like working the stage or running something. So when I go to Burning Man, I don't really want to work, you know, and going with friends, sometimes they have camps, theme camps. Oh, you got to pay camp fees and you got to like clean dishes or do whatever. And like when I go to Burning Man, I want to like a holiday kind of. I want to step away from that. Yeah. Well, I don't know about sparkle. I don't know about that. Well, I don't want to like ride people's coattails, but I just like doing my own thing when I'm at that spot. And when all your friends are there, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. There's like an amazing part to that, but I'd like to go and I don't really know anybody and see what it's like there. You know, just kind of go.
We went down last year for our honeymoon.
Oh, nice.
Which was, we definitely just kicked it. Like we didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities, but I helped Millie haul a lot of her stuff from Calgary down there to set up the camp. Which
last year was interesting too because you ended up going to sleep earlier than I did on more than a couple nights, a few decent nights, and just like having that experience because I don't do that often on purpose at regular festivals. Anyways, you get separated from your friends, but at our festivals, we know enough people that you're always going to run into somebody. So me running around on my own, you know, purposefully losing track of everybody at Burning Man was a really powerful experience.
For sure. And like people in like, and this isn't bragging, but people in our position where, you know, this is a perfect example. Someone's going to watch this and they might recognize you from the podcast. Yeah. When I walk around Freezer Burn, there's always a lot of people who want energy from you. Oh, yeah. And that's cool, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, you only got so much, especially if you're building something or creating an experience.
Yeah. You know? Being a sound marshal. Right. Do this shot, Dave. I can't. I'm working right now.
It's definitely nice to be in an environment where people aren't, you know, nobody has any idea who you are, and that's nice sometimes.
Yeah, because it gets a little overwhelming. It can, especially at a place like that where you don't want to expend all your energy. So are you guys going to the Burn?
Yeah.
Right. And how many years have you guys gone? Is
this will be our fourth.
Shit.
Yeah, this will be our fourth.
Yeah, this year's going to be intense. We go out to Shambhala to do the pre-build a week before, and then stay for Shambhala, and then we're going to drive down for Organ Eclipse, and then kick it in the States for in between that and Burning Man,
which will probably only be a few days. Right? Or no, Burning Man opens on the weekend, right? Yeah, we usually start driving down on the Saturday and we get there for like the Tuesday, but I think the gates open on the Sunday morning or something.
I think so, yeah.
We might have a few days to kill, but there's no like Motion Ocean this year is on the same weekend as Burning Man starting, and it's in between Oregon Eclipse and Burning Man, so they're like for us it's kind of a pain in the butt to go cross back into Canada for that festival for a few days and then go try and re-enter the States.
Is Motion Ocean something you guys like go to a lot? Is that
we've been every year since we started,
so
we've been 2012 and on.
So you guys like build something there, or is it just like
I was with the Spectrum. We were with the Spectrum stage crew for the 1 year that they did the big stage.
Last year we played a few sets, and
last year we were actually finally like on the poster, so we cut in with that. But we brought the podcast last year, so that was we were kind of media as well. But Mono isn't usually too stressful. It's kind of like the 1 year doing Spectrum was crazy, being like doing a big stage, being out there just building for a week straight beforehand. Shambhala is different, man. Like building Pagoda last year was such a pleasure.
That's just so there's
cool.
something about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shambhala is like I've heard many DJs and people who go there. It's like you don't get that anywhere else.
Yeah. We were told by the one of the environmental people was walking through Pagoda Crew Camp last year, and they were describing to us the reason why this land is so magical is because in the springtime, Salmo Ranch is a like crazy spawning grounds for all sorts of fish and deer and just like a whole bunch of wildlife are just naturally drawn to this area.
Yeah. It says something like 80% of all of like the river species breed like right on that beach, like within the Shambhala area, and so it was because we were out there the year before, and it was a caddisfly. Yeah, I think it was a caddisfly because we were in the river just chilling in the day, and I look and I could see some of the rocks were moving, and they had little black arms, and they were crawling around, and it was a little fly larva inside a tube that it had made, and it had adorned and decorated the tube with the rocks.
Colorful
like
pebbles.
So there was colorful pebbles and sticks, and it made this little tube that it lived in, and it would like go back in. And so we started freaking out. We were like, "What are these?" And yeah, we
were sober at the time.
That's what.
Gotta put that out there.
That's what drew us to finding this guy who was like the farm's environmental specialist, and he told us just how exceptional that piece of land is, regardless of the festival. Before the festival even existed, there's something really magical about the.
I heard somewhere, maybe my cousin told me, he's DJed there before, that like there's some kind of mineral deposit under the ground or something like that.
Yeah.
Massive quartz deposit.
Kind of, quartz maybe. Yeah.
Sounds like some hippie bullshit.
Well, no, it's not bullshit, considering 30% of the Earth's crust is quartz. Right. So it's most of the Earth's crust.
And like the frequency that thing puts out, the quartz crystal, was probably like just, people don't even realize what they're in. Yeah. We're like fossils to the farm too. Our first show was, what was that, 04?
Mine was 05.
Yeah, 04.
Cool.
Well, like I actually got to see the Ewok Village when it was the Ewok Village, with that like DJ booth in the middle that would like spin slowly, and then there was just all those pedways up in the trees.
It would spin slowly?
Yeah, it would spin slowly.
Our first year was 2011.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, it's crazy to see how that's another example of, you know, the scene in electronic music, of how it's just exploding.
Yeah.
You know, Freezer Burn's a good one, Shambhala, Astral, all those like events are just, you can't get away from the electronic music right now. It's everywhere.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that actually brings me to my next question. Which came first? Not the chicken or the egg, but Shambhala's Grove or you guys?
Us, for sure. Yeah, us for sure.
Isn't the logo really similar?
I don't know. We made this shirt like 2011.
Yo, Callie, bring up the Facebook page for the Shambhala Grove. Because if that's the
case...
Hope
you guys have a good lawyer.
No, they got it, because like, I'm pretty sure they fashioned it very similarly.
Yeah.
Because it was the portal before. It was the
portal.
It
was the portal
and then the labyrinth.
The labyrinth. Yeah, I missed it when I was the labyrinth.
The first year we were there, the labyrinth had, or was it the portal? Anyway, they would haul in beach sand, and they would put this crazy white tarp to cover it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just again just how it's grown.
Oh, you know, it's not that similar. It's not that similar.
Not even a little bit.
Maybe it's spelt the same.
Hope you have a good lawyer.
I do love seeing, like, I love PK, but that Function 1.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, they do sound a touch different. They're like really clean on the high. Mm-hmm. The bass isn't as loud, but it's definitely like powerful. It's you feel it. It's really it's a damn nice product. Function 1's been a big staple name for decades, right?
I was really happy to see Opio on that Function 1 system. That was incredible.
Yeah, when you can see some, like, was he playing any like live instruments then?
He was.
Yeah, right. He got it at that point.
Bass Coast uses that sound system as well for one of their stages, I think.
Right.
They did this last year, as well as Luminosity.
Right.
I think they use that rig.
Because they have a little bit in Vancouver, right? There's a little Function 1 rig in Vancouver.
There's a club in Calgary that uses Function 1 tops, but they're not.
No, they're bottoms too.
Oh, they're bottoms too.
Which club is that?
Bespoke, but the one show that we went to see there, we went to see Botneck, and I don't know if I don't know if they bought the speakers and they just don't have anybody maintaining them properly, but it was not a good representation at all.
They're also an older model. They're not. They're not those ones are the turbo sound, or
I'm not a huge like Function 1 like nerd. I haven't really gone too far into their like specs or anything, but
they're just good. Just label them as good.
Still though, even if it is an older model, like it was.
They just didn't have it set up right.
Yeah, I hear you need like protractors and shit for those systems, which is fine, you know, because once you fine tune them, they'll be dope. But like that's the little difference between like PK, you know, like you can just go rent one for your house, a party for your house.
Yeah, they got onboard crossovers and limiters and amplifiers, and like they're plug and play.
That was funny in that situation because I remember I kept on running up to people just being like, "Hey, like, do you think that the sound is a little off? Like, it doesn't sound like it sounded like muddy or whatever." And everybody, you know, it kind of makes you recognize just how jaded you are as like an audiophile and as a person who like deals with like really good sounding shit all the time and something that you pride yourself in. Everybody's like, "No, it's totally fine. It sounds great."
No, gosh, shit, I'm just
needs time alignment.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Well, I'm sure you guys have experienced it too. I'm sure you have, like, you'll show someone a song, like, "Hey, check out this cool little noise in the song."
Yeah, totally.
What?
That little blip.
Yeah, that little melody thing.
It's like a millisecond.
Right, and they don't even know what you're talking about.
No, I know that feeling, man. There's a Long Walk Short Talk track that just has this wicked like depth charge explosion. It's just like, boom, and I love that.
That was good.
That was
really good.
Sample that for later.
Timestamp it.
It's the thing with electronic music. You can't try and describe a song to somebody. Like there's like, well,
a lot of them don't have lyrics. I've had one of my friends try and like text me like the beat to a song
with words.
Yeah, which one was it?
It was
Shiba-san.
Shiba-san.
Yeah.
She's like, what's that song?
Okay. Yeah. Dum-a-dum-dum-dum. It's just like dum, dum-a-dum-dum-dum. As though I was gonna understand.
Oh, I know that one.
The worst part is when you're in the middle of a set and someone tries to give you that information in the booth. They're like, yeah, that song. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun, yeah. I'm like, maybe he has it. Yeah. And then I'll pretend.
Just don't throw him under the bus.
That's happened a few times.
That does happen.
Or a good one is, I don't know. I don't think I have it, but the guy after me does. Ask him.
I'm going to remember that.
Yeah. Especially if it's one of your buddies or something. Yeah. I'll never forget this guy. So when the 4 after hours clubs were open, there was a lot of direct competition. I think you might remember this. This guy named Chad Cook. There was this drunk person. She was like gone. And he sent her over to our club. And do you remember when she came up on the stage and she was asking us all these weird questions? Do you remember this at Twilight?
Maybe.
What kind of questions?
That I can't remember, but I was more just speaking to like how, DJs troll each other. You know what I mean? Like, hell yeah, there's this drunk girl up asking for requests. Let's send her to this other club and deal with it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, go to the Twilight. They'll help you over there.
That's hilarious.
Well,
dude, cats are just making out in the corner here.
God.
I love these cats.
You guys are related. That's gross.
Oh man.
I wanted to ask you guys. Do you have any DJ sets for Freezer Burn yet? Have you guys even like gone down that road?
No, I haven't really thought about it.
We played like a little lunch party at Renarnia last year, and then the Flow Society guys had us play.
Right.
Are you inviting us?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that was my next thing before we get away from Freezer Burn. Because now they're making it for another day, right?
Oh.
Well, you guys don't know that.
No.
Yeah,
Oh.
Freezer Burn's on Thursday. So,
nice.
Like he was saying before, we put in a lot of work, putting up all these stages just for a weekend. So a lot of people have been saying we want another night. So they're going to open it Thursday. So we're going to have a Thursday night.
So is that going to reflect ticket prices then, I guess? Because I think they probably pay per head per day out there.
Yeah.
It's $170 now, I think.
That's still not bad.
Yeah.
Considering.
No, like honestly, like from our perspective and from a lot of other people's, they're cheap tickets compared to what you get. Like the experience that you get out there is so unique. It's so amazing walking down the roads. Everything has the street names, and you can find your friends just by reading the map, like you would on.
Have we heard anything about the theme this year?
Oh.
Where the wild things roam?
No.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
submitted
what it
a
is.
thing.
What was it?
Oh, so you lost.
Neverland.
Just keep at it, man.
I will.
Did you not see the poll where you could vote? Did that not get to you guys? It had all the different options, or you could.
No, they probably just picked out of the survey that they did.
Yeah,
because
there was
clearly mine sucked.
Neverland. Yeah, I think it's Where the Wild Things Roam or something like that. Sounds kind of
cheesy. That's a movie, right?
Yeah. No, it's Where the Wild Things Are. I think is the movie, or it's like a kid's book.
I'm not going now. I'm butthurt.
Hopefully none of the LEA are watching, but they butthurt me a lot all the time. That's why we kind of broke off and did our own thing, like I was saying earlier before the podcast. Like bureaucracies and stuff like that kind of get in the way, so we just kind of spawn off and do our own thing.
Well, actually, one thing, like even if some of them are listening, I was like when we did the podcast with Renarnia, I planned on doing more last year at the festival, but nobody was ready at the times that they wanted that we were ready and set up, and the weather kind of kept us from being able to just leave things set up. But anyway, we did the podcast, and then we ended up having to apply for permission to release it.
Oh, good job.
We ended up basically having to apply for permission to release it. Like they have the final say as to whether or not it would represent them properly, which I can understand. But at the same time, isn't that kind of like censorship? Like it's like if you guys maybe like talk crap about us or something, we're gonna not let you release it, and then it's like, well, then you're kind of just like confirmation bias, like catering. You're only putting out the nice things and like hiding all of the mud. I'm not saying that their policies are unjust or wrong. I remember that thought coming into my head, just being like, isn't bad press good press? Like, not that there was bad press.
Yeah. No,
we love Freezer Burn, and we were talking nothing but mad good shit. But
there's always like a little bit of something, that won't sit right with someone, whether it's the sound or how late the party goes or why there's no party on Sunday night or whatever happens. There's always going to be something. So they kind of have to like draw like a line, and hopefully people can, not sway too far off of that line. Yeah. But it just inspires you to do your own thing, like, oh, we don't like how you do things. Well, we're going to do our own. And then it's just like inspiration to keep going, because you can't always be happy.
If you don't like it, do it better.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I started DJing. I'd go to the clubs.
Me too.
And I'm like, oh, this music's shit. I have to play better shit. Yeah, I think that's for all of us here.
So we were at our friend's place last night, and I remember I told him that we were doing a podcast today, and he was like, oh, with who? And I said, Van Damage. And he said that he saw you guys at Pure years ago. You guys played.
Yeah.
So
that was
an interesting response.
The white theme.
The white party.
Yeah. That was a life. That was another life. That was our bootang life.
Yeah.
That was like our mainstream.
Yeah, I was going to ask whether or not you were like involved in the bootang.
I'll let this guy talk first, because he was with the bootang a lot more than I was.
Yeah.
That was kind of I would say a catalyst for Dave and I to be pushed to become Van Damage. That was part of it. And I used to actually be a general manager for bootang in Edmonton, and we used to throw all the big robot raves. And
what do you mean robot rave?
Another term is brobot rave, where you go and everybody's just doing the same thing all the time.
But kind of how that started for me was that there was a lot of bureaucracy in the Edmonton dance scene. There was actually a bylaw that was drafted that literally said that no dancing could occur in any public place, any like bar, nightclub, whatever, after 2 a.m. No dancing. And how can you put a statute against
this
dancing?
was the extended dance bylaw?
That's right, right? And
we got that too.
And that's actually, so I dove into that, and I learned all the intricacies of the actual bylaw. And then I kind of got to a point where I was like, well, if I had a lot more money, I could probably throw a party. And then that's how the partnership with bootang started. And it was successful. It started to be, the first party we threw had 1,500 people. The next party we threw had 2,500 people. And the next party had 3,000 people. And then it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And that's kind of what we always wanted. But I think at some point it spiraled away. And it spiraled away in that direction. And Dave and I wanted to go this direction instead. And
we always kind of did our own thing. Like we would play all the bootang shows and do all the things that you're supposed to, like post on Facebook, invite all your friends to shit, bring 10 people so you can play certain time slots and not get paid and all that stuff. But we kind of like did our own, like made our own path. We would throw like CD release parties, and we would just not toe the line, really. Like a lot of the DJs in that, and not even just bootang, but just that whole scene, like the EDM scene, the mainstream scene, you kind of have to give up a lot of yourself to do that.
It's a passion project.
Yeah, but you also kind of like pigeonhole yourself. Like when we would play with bootang, like this is like 08, 09, we would say the word dubstep and people would just be like,
Yeah.
it was a toxic word.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
or even breakbeat. Or drum and bass, even to an extent, was actually something that people would want to shy away from.
Yeah, and they didn't want
weird.
As opposed to, what was it?
Like house music.
Electro was the buzzword back then. So, yeah.
It's so different for Calgary, though, because Calgary is, like, for the longest time been all about the drum and bass. And we get a ton of really great drum and bass here.
Yeah.
The going back to the extended dance bylaw, I remember, like, we had to look into it for the very first show that we ever threw. It was our engagement party in 2011. 2012. My bad.
Oh, usually it's the other way. Usually the guy forgets. That's okay.
This is a recurring thing. But after reading into it, like, it is very specifically targeting, like, reading the points through it, it was just like and any event with like flashing lights and music of an electronic nature and all this stuff. So it's like, so if we have flashing lights but we're playing country music, does that negate the bylaw? Is that okay?
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, they made it extremely difficult for a lot of, because there was so many, like you said, it was so finite. You had to have a dedicated cool down area. You had to have an in place paramedical plan. You had to have
water coolers.
Oh yeah, the water. Yeah, there was just so many things. But
which, in all fairness, like, these are okay things to have.
Yeah, and it just made it very difficult for the for the average, say you have somebody that really wants to throw a good event and does have the best intentions in mind, they would never be able to do it. And so it did actually kind of push it in the big business direction.
Yeah.
And they were the only ones that were able to afford to
make
be
it
able
more
to throw
corporate.
those party. Yeah,
if you want the proper insurance and you want
exactly
like everything like that, it's like what are you gonna have to charge for ticket prices, and is anybody gonna want to pay it?
Right.
It's tough. It's always but the thing is, like with the visa thing, Canada last year they tried to slip in a real dirty sly thing where they were like, no, instead of having to just apply for a visa once for a year or 2 years of performing in Canada, you now have to pay every time per member. Right. And it was gonna destroy international music traveling to Canada. And I know that Jay Michael, do you know him? He used to do the Illumisphere at Astra Harvest. They do he's the one that hosts Inshallah.
Right. Okay.
And, I think he put together like a strong petition and got like a lot of names, and like there's a lot of different people from a lot of different circles that spoke out against the Canadian government for doing that, being like, you're gonna kill music. Like I know that there's this CRTC, like you want to keep a certain percentage of Canadian content on radio and media, but you can't go ahead and just like stonewall touring artists from the United States or Australia or stuff like that. You're just going to kill it and ruin it. So and it got reversed.
Well, it pigeonholes people. That's kind of what we were saying before. Like it's like, okay, you can do this thing, but you can only do it this way. And it's like, well, that's not the way I want to do it. I want to do it a different way. And the LEA is the same, or like when we were with Boudang, or stunting creativity is like it's the worst. It shouldn't be. But governments don't really think far ahead.
That's my question: is what were you trying to accomplish?
Right.
Was it just you want more money, or were you trying to like limit? Like what were you trying to accomplish by doing that? And if it was just money, then you're not in the right department. You got your shit backwards, because you can't just go to the arts and be like, oh, I want to make more money off the arts. I'm going to impose these restrictions. It's like.
But then they do something. But then they do something cool. I just heard that they passed this law where underage performers can play at bars. So, like, let's say you're 16 years old and you're in a band, you can go play at a bar. And that used to be a huge thing for Alberta. Was, you couldn't do that kind of stuff, but everywhere else you could. And now they've made that kind of a thing. So, as much as they fuck up, I think every once in a while they'll pass a law that is kind of legit. But there's not very much like foresight, it seems. It's more like, what will this do right now to solve this problem? But not like, hey, maybe in 15 years this might cause a bigger issue, or 5 years down the road. But it's
governments.
That's a whole.
They're
other
bureaucrats,
podcast.
Morty. I don't respect them.
I think Vasky was 17 when we saw him play at Distillery.
You might be right. Him, Frequent, one of the guys that we've had up here a couple times. He's from Denver. That guy, he's like 19. Right. And he's just killing it. He owns his own record label, and like, he was just working with Culprit, and like, he's just killing it. It's amazing. And actually, if I want to give a shout out to that, his album comes out this month. I think March 13th it comes out. It's called Dream Recall, and he's basically the middle point between like Noisia and like Tipper, kind of sort of
super squelchy neuro like.
It's amazing. I love his music, and his album that's coming out, and we've heard a few of it, and I just want to give a shout out to Nolan. But like the point being, he's just so young, and it's just crazy. Like, why would you limit someone like that from being able to perform their craft, and just because of their age? I mean, who was it? It was that comedy sketch. Jim Jeffries made a really good joke about how, like, he's like, are you serious? Like, you'll let a girl be in porn at 18, but she can't have a drink till she's 21. He's like, you're telling me that this girl, like, some of these girls are taking, like, 6 dicks and, like, a load to the face, and you won't let her have a beer after that. She deserves a beer.
Or a shot of tequila or something.
It's a pretty dirty joke, but I mean, like, it's a fucking hilarious point.
That makes sense, man. Yeah. It's everything's kind of backwards now. I feel like, I don't know, there's like that theory where like the universe is changing, like where
the mandala effect.
Yeah. I've been reading into that.
Tanner had one of those moments today.
Just trying to find the rental car place. I was just on the wrong street. But I was like, I'm sure Enterprise was right here. It's the fucking Mandela effect.
That's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down at 3 a.m. on the internet. That's for sure. Oh man, I did that mistake once.
Well, okay, let's talk about that. I mean, to describe it, the Mandela effect is just it's named after Nelson Mandela. A lot of people remember him dying in prison. But he actually got out of prison and died of cancer or something years later.
Not that long ago, maybe 5 years.
And most people were like, wait, he just died? I thought he's been dead for a year. And everybody was just like, I'm positive he was already dead. Like, what happened? And then the one thing that really fucked people up was, and I don't know if you can relate to this, is the Berenstain Bears.
It was the Berenstain Bears.
I definitely remember it being the Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain.
Maybe just at a very young, childish age, you couldn't read.
No, my mom. I talked to my mom about this last time we were there, and she was like, yeah, it's Berenstain. I was like, if you have any of those books, go dig them up right now.
Yeah, well, it's Demon Saints, not Diamond Saints.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Right, yeah.
Well, that's just people that can't read.
My point.
There's also that the Sinbad movie where he was like in a genie movie or something like that. I swear I saw that movie, but obviously
one of the most notable ones for me is the one in with Jaws in the 007 movie.
Right,
you seen that one? He
explain it again.
Well, Jaws is a character that has like metal plated teeth, right? And there's this scene where he gets defeated and falls into like a trash heap or something on the street. And so Jaws there's like this girl that walks by and she's got these pigtails and she's kind of like a young girl and she leans over to help him up and she ends up smiling and she's got braces, right? And he ends up smiling because he's like, you're fucked up like me. You got a metal mouth. This is hilarious. And then they like fall in love and walk off into the sunset together. And everybody remembers that scene like that. But now if you pull out your VHS, your DVD, whatever you watch it, she does not have braces, which is really weird because that joke doesn't work anymore.
Right.
There's no braces. And it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
The theory definitely makes sense, and it would be cool if that was a thing. You know what I mean? Someone's got like a time machine and they're fucking with the universe or whatever the timeline is or something like that. Like that theory is cool, but I don't know. Do you remember a Sinbad genie movie?
I thought I did remember the Sinbad genie movie, but Sinbad was a pretty flamboyant dresser, so who knows what's happening.
Amen.
But that's what they're calling them now.
Yeah, it was definitely Berenstain. I know that for a fact. I had my vowels on point back in the day. So,
that was like where you were learning that shit. Man.
That's right.
Yeah, but everybody says Berenstain now, or everybody finds the books say Berenstain.
And then of course like Photoshop, gets involved in things as well, where it's like, you see a picture on the internet, it says Berenstain, like, okay, well that's it, but it also could be someone photoshopping.
You can't trust the internet anymore.
The world nowadays, man. You seen that the facial swap technology that they're working with, where they can
Snapchat?
No.
Sorry.
Nice.
Bad joke.
That is sort of the same technology. It's just very crude. It's like an augmented reality. But there's people working on these programs where they can take, let's say the president is doing the address to the country
nation.
Or whatever, the nation, and they can take somebody else in a studio on a green screen and mouth certain words and then superimpose that onto the other face and actually like map the points and augment the face properly.
Isn't that a movie where they make up all this fake news? Like Al Pacino's in it, and they make up this fake war, and they use the media to create this completely fake war, and they create like with oh man,
no, it sounds like a good movie though.
What's it called? I can't think of what it's called. I don't think I actually watched it. That's probably why I don't. But
just saw the trailer.
They basically like use like fake people to like broadcast the news, like computer generated news stories, just to create this.
Wag the dog.
Oh, geez, nice. Way to go, Callie.
You're like the young Jamie.
The young Jamie. Powerful Jamie.
Young Callie.
Young Callie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a thing, technology, like the CGI now, when you watch, say, Star Wars, it's like back then when you would watch Star Wars, you were like blown away, like, whoa, lasers, and now you watch it, that's like, that shit is like ancient, now you can make fake people and no one can tell the difference.
Right, Princess Leia.
Right,
at the end of
or Palpatine.
Or
no,
Tarkin.
Wow, all the Star Wars nerds are like, how dare you?
I wouldn't even consider myself a Star Wars nerd. I just like them both a lot. I mean, Star Trek and Star Wars. Callie only just recently started watching Star Trek with me because she just never gave it really a chance. But it was recently the Tellus Spark Science Center in Calgary just recently opened up the Starfleet Academy experience, and Long Walk Short Dog got booked to play the fucking celebrity, like the opening night, to DJ the opening night, which was
so cool.
It was his agent that got him booked for it, and it was one of those just like corporate gigs. He was like, well, shit, this is.
But he was like,
good
you know what kind of music I play, right?
Yeah.
You really think this is a fitting environment?
Yeah, he called us up and he was just like, we have to gimmick the fuck out of this. This has got to be like, we got to do whatever we can to make it so that we don't just clear that room out. And so he made a couple like Star Wars tracks or Star Trek tracks.
Oh, how dare you!
Heresy.
And we ended up dressing up as Spock and Kirk and like battling with like spears and stuff like on the stage while he was playing the song. It was fucking ridiculous. It was hilarious, but that inspired Callie all of a sudden. She's like, I really want to watch this now. Like she saw the passion in everybody that was there.
Well, because I was wearing like a science officer dress, and this girl comes up. She's just like, oh, you're like the only other person here like dressed as a science officer. I was like,
yeah, science.
I was like, yeah, science. I like science officer.
Science center.
Yeah.
So what Star Trek are you watching?
We start with the Next Generation.
Yeah.
Classic. That's
a good one. But I didn't realize it started in 87. And some of them, like, there was a few good episodes, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, there's some really bad TV drama in here. Like, I think we might have to skip a few seasons.
Deep Space Nine is the same way. I'm like a huge
I love
Trekkie.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, as soon as Worf shows up and the Defiant shows up.
Was Deep Space Nine before or after?
After TNG.
Okay.
But Next Generation, I used to watch that. Like that was like our family thing. We would
Totally,
like all
mine too.
sit
At the dinner table.
Star Trek. Yeah, that's amazing.
My family is just crude and ill-informed, apparently.
It's okay. You get to enjoy it now.
Yes.
I'll never forget that first episode of Star Trek when Riker gets like pulled into that like black like sludge. Remember the
first episode of TNG?
I think so.
Because we just watched the first episode a few days ago.
He doesn't come in until like a couple episodes.
No. He comes in the first episode. The first episode is the something on Farpoint or whatever. And they're going to Farpoint to pick up Crusher and like Beverly and Wesley and Riker. It was awesome because at the Telespark night, Riker and LaForge and
they were there.
Yeah, they were there.
Wow.
And they fucking roasted Long Walk because the MC was like, after the celebrity panel, we're gonna have DJ Long Walk Short Dog, and of course Dave's just like, stop saying fucking DJ. it's not my name, and then of course what is it, Jonathan Frakes or whatever is
Frakes,
Riker? Yeah, Frakes and LeVar Burton, and then Ensign Harry Kim, whatever.
He's from Voyager.
Yeah. So the three of them are there, and they get up there, and the first thing they say is just like, "What the fuck is a Long Walk Short Dog?"
Wow.
And like
they went on for like a good 10 minutes about
roasting
it.
his name, like playfully and respectfully, but it was Dave was at the back. He was just like, "Yes,
I can't believe
yes, this is the best day of my life."
Oh man, having like Commander Riker and Geordi LaForge
roast you,
yeah,
you can die happy now.
So I would suggest going and checking it out if you're a Star Trek fan.
It's really cool.
The whole bridge from TNG, I think, is
you can sit in like
all the sick bays, the transporters, and like and there's somebody that brought their massive collection of stage props and costumes and pieces of all of the history of Star Trek. So like it's one person's collection, and he's got all the uniforms and all the pieces. Like, he's got a sizable millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff.
You can have a Batlet duel.
Yeah,
Batlet duel. Yeah, right. Star Trek.
There's actually like a panel that you go up to where you have to learn Klingon, and it like you have to say it back properly.
What?
We didn't get a chance to actually have the whole experience because it was on opening night, and it was just so absolutely busy.
We wanted to support Dave too. We didn't want to just like be like, okay, you're playing now. All right, we're gonna go check out the exhibit.
Right.
We did a little bit, but
Yeah.
there was like a virtual reality setup. It was badass.
sounds
The
cool.
transporters are neat. They're like these great big plastic tubes, and you stand in front of a camera that projects yourself. Like it looks like a hologram. Like it's super trippy. You can see yourself inside this tube.
Yeah, that's cool. Holodecks are something that like I think about a lot, and there's that whole theory how like we live in a hologram or something.
I don't want to get into that.
No,
Don't fuck with my head right now.
But like, I hope technology at some point like gets to that. You know what I mean? Where you can walk into a room and be like, "Hey, I want to be."
I would never leave.
Yeah, how would you?
Yeah.
There's no reason to. I think virtual reality is getting close to that too. You know, where
Virtual reality is getting scary.
Yeah.
where you're gonna like not want to leave. You know what I mean? There's already people like. I can't believe I'm saying this publicly, but I used to play World of Warcraft a little bit.
Oh, that's fine.
I know, I'm just talking shit. You know, you're addicted when you think about it years later.
Yeah.
I swear, like 5 years of my life are just floating around those servers. Anyway, there's people who like would live in there. You know what I mean? They have like marriages in there and like weddings and like funerals. And
Final Fantasy has gotten to that point now. Final Fantasy Online, they have like the bonding ceremony. Like you can get married to another character and shit. Like and you have to pay money to do it.
Well, I was gonna say, is that like getting married on Facebook or whatever? Because people do that all the time. Just like
yeah, but you don't have to pay money to get married on Facebook.
A monthly fee,
$50
a month to get married. I'll never forget.
You're renting the ring,
right? There was a funny story I read. There was like this group on World of Warcraft where in real life one of the players died. So in the world, they wanted to like have a funeral for this dude.
Oh,
and then so
kind of cute.
Yeah, in World of Warcraft, there's like two sides. There's like the good and the bad. They're called the Horde and the Alliance. So it was like an Alliance funeral, and some of the bad guys of the Horde heard about this funeral. And they came in and they just like killed everybody in the game. It was at this like
kind of Game of Thrones a little bit.
Yeah, savage.
They just like came in and slaughtered this funeral. Oh man, I laughed so hard.
holy,
right?
That wow.
Yeah.
My God.
I know.
So it's a heartwarming community.
For sure. I don't really miss it though.
Do you still game a lot?
A little bit. Grand Theft Auto is my problem right now.
Yeah, I go back and forth with Grand Theft Auto. Right now I'm on a hiatus.
Right.
But it's fucking timeless. I don't think that game will ever get boring.
Yeah, they don't put clocks in those games for a reason. You know what I mean? It's like,
You know what? Final Fantasy has a clock.
It does.
I'll never pay attention to it though. I'm like so heavy into Final Fantasy Online right now. It's ridiculous.
Right.
There's a cat on my hair.
I haven't played that yet.
It's good.
Right.
It's good.
It looks like shit.
But the graphics aren't very good.
No, he's just talking shit.
I'm playing it.
Yeah, it looks fun.
I'm a hardcore gamer, so I'm all about that. Is it cool? Like, is it?
It still has like the general storyline that you can follow. It's kind of like Skyrim in that where there's like the side quests and then there's like the main storyline, but it's just another MMO.
Right, like level guy up, do quests, get items and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's a little redundant after a while, I find. You know, like the forever quest for better gear or you know, like a better sword. Or
whatever. But like the storyline's really good, and then like they release expansions every now and again to continue the storyline. So you're not just fighting to level up.
So
gear
not
and
only
shit.
have they monetized your love, but they're gonna get you into an infinite subscription.
I will never not love Final Fantasy, and you cannot pull me away.
Hey, when we finished Final Fantasy X, I was crying legit.
Yeah.
When like Titus had to like float away back to the real world.
I loved Final Fantasy X when I was in junior high, and then I played it, or I watched like a little bit of a playthrough in my present age, and Titus is a bitch.
Yeah. Right.
Had a hard time.
Yo, that
happens though.
Yeah.
What's up with that Final Fantasy VII remake that they showed a few?
Right.
Super excited.
Oh man.
Do we know when that's coming out or?
I lost a lot of hours of school playing that. Going to Blockbuster Video and renting it, hopefully.
Yeah. That'll probably make me buy a PS4. I'm an Xbox One guy right now.
Well, you know what? The latest Final Fantasy was released multi-platform for the first time. So it was released on Xbox. So you might not have to buy a PlayStation to play it.
I wonder if there'll be a time when there's only one console.
You know what? It doesn't even matter
so.
because now the online is cross-platform.
Final Fantasy Online is cross-platform.
Yeah, it's like even PC people are in there.
I hope that I look forward for that moment because there's like such an opportunity there for growth, you know?
This is released 1st of February 2017. It says that development is just getting started.
Oh, really?
So we probably got like a couple of years.
Related, Diablo 4 latest news. Ooh.
I never got into Diablo.
I did. I got a Diablo 2 stole my high school life. There's a lot of my life floating around on those servers. I wonder if it even still exists. Like if the account would be like accessible or anything like that.
Oh, Battle.net's done. So
is it?
Yeah,
is it?
Pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Get rid of Battle.net.
StarCraft was another one of mine. That was. Yeah. There's even still now. I hear there's like tournaments in like Japan.
Oh yeah.
Or there's like
Korea.
Like 14,000 people watching 3 people play StarCraft.
Yo, actually, there was it was one of the JRE podcasts with a guy. I can't remember his name, but his Counter-Strike handle was CS nothing or CS9 nothing. He is like 16 or 17 years old, and he's a professional Counter-Strike player. And he literally tours the world playing, you know, he just makes his money off Twitch. He makes 6 figures just off Twitch donations.
God.
Yeah. And it's just bizarre to think that so many people, I mean, Callie didn't believe me recently when I was like, oh yeah, there's a guy called PewDiePie on YouTube that is like the biggest YouTube star ever. And he makes like hordes and hordes of money off just views. And she was like, no, he doesn't. So I looked it up. He made $12.6 million off his YouTube revenue last year.
In a year?
In a year. He's 55 million subscribers.
We're doing it wrong.
Right.
55 million subscribers, and he puts out videos every day.
And what is it like? Because I hear Twitch is like on multiple different things. There's the legit nerd who's like, no, this is how you do this. And then there's like actual shows where there'll be like maybe a DJ or comedians and stuff like that. So like, is he more like a technical thing, or is
that's
it
me? I'm the asshole. Sorry.
Oh, how dare you?
My phone's just ringing away.
So popular. Is he like a technical kind of guy, or is it like a show that you would enjoy to watch, or does it teach you?
I think
PewDiePie?
Yeah, like
he just plays.
He plays video games.
Is he funny, or is it like what's so good about it?
I don't know. I think he made his like fame from Minecraft.
I never got into that.
I don't understand it. Like, I mean, I see like a slight novelty to it, but I don't see the
continued playability.
We need to rent office space to employ these 17 people to recreate the Starship Enterprise in fucking Minecraft. It's like, so that we can slay YouTube. It's funny. But at the same time, we were talking about this earlier today, that Cash Me Outside girl. Like, a lot of people are so pissed off that they're hearing that she's getting a show and that she's making money and stuff.
I love it.
Part of me is like, yeah, it's like fucking hood rats making all this money, like whatever, but that was a really mean thing to say, wasn't it?
No,
hood rats.
No, she's a hood rat.
No, she's definitely the definition of a hood rat.
You're not hating, you're just stating.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if she can fucking juke the system like that, and just like every so often somebody, not even of their own, like, they don't even really try to become a YouTube sensation or go viral or become memed, but if you do, whatever, that's just like one of those weird little, all of a sudden this thing happened and then people freaked out and now money's just rolling in.
Yo, whatever happened to Grumpy Cat? Remember Grumpy Cat?
Yeah,
that was a perfect example of that.
It's like 2014.
Yeah.
Our attention span is dilating so much.
140 characters long.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Who's that girl at the Stampede?
Alexis Fruling. Quit fruling around.
Yeah, right. That's another one. Like, I remember seeing her. She was like going around strip clubs and like.
She became a stripper and now she's.
Why not? You know, like we were saying earlier, bad press is still press. You know, so if you can get out there and people start noticing you and you're going viral, even if it's for Cash Me Outside or getting double teamed behind a dumpster, like fucking go for it.
Again, we're doing it wrong.
Doing it, no pun intended. Right? Oh, this guy's empty. I think you need a refill here.
Okay.
Oh, you good? Oh, you got to drive later. Okay,
that's okay.
So what's your opinions on the U.S. political climate?
Oh God, you want to go there?
I'd rather go talk about Boudang some more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to segue into something, but
I wanted to mention, because we were chatting about it before. Something that I learned from that experience was, you guys probably see this as well because you throw your own shows. When you're up on stage, people who aren't behind the scenes, they only see you doing that. Mm-hmm. They don't see you, fucking sitting here, planning out your party, like building stages. Sure. They only see like the final result. So it kind of like sways people's idea of what it actually is before they get into it. So if it's like, ooh, I want to be a DJ. I see those guys up there. What do I got to do that? But most of the people don't realize all the hard work behind it. So there's a lot of like, wow, I feel like I might get flamed for this later. There's a lot of coattail riders out there, you know what I mean, who will just like two-face people, tell you what you want to hear, say you're cool, and then behind your back say you're not cool, and not put in the work. And we're not that. We don't really like the limelight, you know what I mean? We'll show up, we'll play a set, and then we're out. We don't really like look for notoriety, and that's something that is a huge thing in like the mainstream aspect of it, is like, oh, I'm a DJ and I play for whatever production company, I'm cool, look at me. So there's a whole bunch of DJs trying to get that spot because they think like, oh, you can go play the Shaw Conference Center, there's a couple thousand people, it's cool, you play for free, but you can go do those events. So you have all of these DJs trying to get to that spot. And then when you're in that spot and you're playing for all of those people, like a sold out rave or whatever, we've gone through this multiple times where we'll play and we're not looking for notoriety, but we'll go walk around the party after and not one person will come up and be like, that was awesome. We'll just walk around and then we'll just leave and not one person will say something.
Well, events of that size too, like if you're far enough away from the stage, you don't really get a personal like reaction or like relationship with the DJ at the time.
Right. It's true. So if you don't work for someone who's promoting their DJs and you're up there trying to like, your friend is like,
oh my god, he passed the fuck out.
He's a cat whisperer. That's awesome. That's adorable.
This is what they don't see when you're DJing.
Yeah, this is what they don't see.
Yeah, right. The cat's in your arm behind you.
Sleepy cats in a podcast. Basically, it's like we felt like we were kind of wasting our time. You know, we would go up, we want to show people new music, we want to show people an experience, but they're all waiting for Tiesto or Deadmau5 or whoever the big headliner is, and that's fine. You know what I mean? If those people are there for that, cool. But we have this whole thing where we're like, we got new music, we want to show you new music, this is what we think is cool, we want you to like have an experience, forget about your day, forget about your bills, just dance a little bit. And we felt like we were kind of like wasting our time a little bit. We would rather play for 40 people who actually give a fuck than 3,000 people who are just there because it's the cool place to be. And that's one of the reasons why like we miss it a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong, putting your hands up in the air to like fucking 3,000 people going crazy is cool, but they're just not cheering for us. They're cheering for the song we're playing.
Yeah.
Like that's just an unfortunate reality of it, where they like hold opening for big DJs like a carrot in front of a horse. It's like, hey, you can open for fucking blah, blah, blah.
Well, and then it's a roster of 25 DJs competing for an 8 p.m. time slot.
Yeah. And like he was mentioning before, that's kind of how we got together. Like, I don't know how it is with the other crews, but with Boudang, when we first started, you always had to tag. There was way more DJs than slots. So it was like you versus another guy, you versus another guy. And every show it was like a different person. And it's like, if you're tagging with someone, like you guys probably get it, you got to gel. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing with someone who
you
doesn't
can't just go up to some random person and be like, yo, let's tag.
Right.
Creatively, it can be suicide.
Oh, absolutely.
For not only for
even sometimes it's suicide for us when we're not getting along.
Seriously. It's the same. But like, it's not only for the DJ set, but it's like the whole event. You know what I mean? Like, we played this one event called Scream, where the sound they rented was terrible. And this like was terrible, and people didn't know what was wrong with the party, but it was just like that one little piece. The sound was hollow, and it made that event just a little bit less. So, like, all of those things kind of play a part, and yeah, we were just kind of like done with that, and we were doing the growth thing, and like again. Like I was saying, we miss it, but not really, because it's only like a temporary fix for nothing. There's no depth to it.
What is it exactly propelling you towards?
Right.
And once you realize like what it's like to commit or connect with an intimate crowd and like an intimate festival, you realize that like that's where the actual gold lies. And the superstar DJ thing is. It looks good on the surface,
right?
But I don't think it's really the actual gem,
right?
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's right.
I think the thing that really gets me is that there are some really ridiculously talented producers who put a lot of work into really creative and specific sound design specific to their own flavor, like Frequent and Closey and Govinda and, you know, all of these really creative, there's so many like depths and layers to their tracks, but the people who are in the limelight are, you know, house and techno and like the amount of effort that it takes to produce that kind of music, not knocking house producers or, you know, trance producers or anything like that, but there's a lot more energy and passion and creativity and depth that goes into this kind of music that just isn't recognized by the popular culture.
I just thought of a wicked analogy for that. It's like Budweiser probably makes more money than anybody for their piss beer. But you get those nice local brews, like microbreweries that care about the flavor and the taste. I mean, they don't have 95-foot yachts for making that beer, but Budweiser does.
And they're not sponsoring the Super Bowl.
Totally.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. And like the producers as well, like they kind of get thrown into, like I remember a big Bass Nectar a while ago. He was a producer, but he was a terrible DJ, you know, and he would say it himself. He's like, I just want to produce this music, but now I'm forced to like
now I have to play it.
Be a DJ, and not only like be a DJ, but like make it like a thing where you don't fucking clear a dance floor all the time or play for security guards because there's nobody there. You know? Like, we've played for enough security guards in our life, I tell you, man. But that's like a humbling experience, and like every DJ needs that. But again, I would rather play for 40 people who give a fuck than
Hell yeah.
those like big things, because you might actually get that person who comes up to you and is like, dude, I was having a fucking terrible fucking day, and I came here and you guys played some music and I fucking forgot about it, and like that's what it's about, you know, those like one-on-one experiences where you're connecting with people.
There's something ethereal going on there, right? Like the atmosphere, just like the general energy that you're swimming in, like is, you can't see it, you can't define it, but it's not there when you go to a really big production. I mean, it can be, but
it is. But like the thing is, it's a whole relationship. You know, the DJ shouldn't be here. Like it should be here. The DJ is like the soundtrack for the experience. And if each one of those individuals is not having a good experience, then it's not gonna like flow. So what people don't realize in this day and age, I think, is you got a friend, man. We're gonna have to come back, and like, you know, he's gonna miss you when you're gone.
I apologize because she's allergic. So
that's why we have a cat. But
no cuddles for a while. You're gonna have to change your clothes or something like that. Oh, I forgot my train of thought, but that's okay.
It happens. It happens. It's all about tangents.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything you guys want to like? Anything that you wanted to make sure to talk about during this conversation, or plug, or like something about your summer that's coming up, or
what do we got going on for the next month?
April 22nd, we have a Sparkle Party. The Space Gnomes and the Grove kind of get together and do a fundraiser. It's in Calgary. What else do we have?
We're doing a charity event at the Forge in Edmonton.
Oh yeah,
the old pawn shop. It's for
that's the Forge.
Yeah, that's the Forge, and we're doing an event for the Stollery. It's like a live music night, and we're closing the night. We're doing some mixing some of the rock infusion with some of our electronic influences, so it should be interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. What else do we have? Rainbow Fiddle. We're playing at Rainbow Fiddle, I think this year. A party we're not really supposed to talk about publicly called Marty Party. I don't know if you guys have heard of that or not.
We're not supposed to talk about it publicly.
No.
We're not talking about it.
Okay.
We didn't know.
What are you talking about?
This is a private residence.
Yeah, right. Nobody's listening to this. Our like semi-booking managers here. I can't really remember all the things that we have. What else is there? No, that's this is why she's here, because like it's been me for the longest time, and I just can't handle it. But there's other things. Oh yeah, there's a Flowciety party we're playing on March 25th in Edmonton.
Oh, fun.
March 25th again. That was the same date as last year, right?
Yeah, it's the day before my birthday.
Rite of Spring, yeah.
What is it called this year?
It's like the
Beauty and the Beats.
Beauty and the Beats. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, that's Freezer Burn. There's obviously the Freezer Burn thing. Oh yeah. That hasn't really been announced. We're doing a throw a party in Edmonton with the Space Grove, and because the parties in Edmonton are very well, there are like themed event parties that happen, but it's basically like a DJ, some openers, and it's at a venue. With the thing that's cool about the burners is there's usually more to it. Like when we throw our fundraiser, we get like burlesque show, fire spinners, hoop spinners or prop spinners or stuff like that. And we kind of want to bring that into Edmonton a little, where it's not like, hey, show up, here's some DJs, here's the headliner, see you later.
Yeah. That's what I really appreciate about the hustle that the Flowciety guys are doing, because the amount of energy that goes into their deco at every single one of their shows is absolutely mind-blowing.
Right.
Yeah. And Andrew's the nicest guy.
He's the nicest guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Andrew and Amelia, they're my favorite.
I don't understand why he's not a stand-up comedian.
That's true.
If there's anybody,
he would have to do it in his banana suit.
Right?
Just roast the crowd the whole time.
Yeah, they throw a good party too. We played their funk party. When was that? I don't know. We played a funk party that they threw.
Yeah.
At that was awesome.
The cabana style.
Shaw Island. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Again, it's one of those like intimate things, but it's all relative. If you're having a group of people who are awesome and they're having a great time, then it's all equal. Because again, like I feel like the DJ is just part of everything, and there shouldn't be.
You're one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. We're like the soundtrack for the experience.
And it's better if you're wearing an afro at the function.
And a banana suit or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's your picture on SoundCloud or Facebook or something is you wearing the afro, right?
Yeah, that lady took it over there.
Yeah.
That was
Lindsay,
someone trolling. That was someone trolling us at Freezer Burn. So
Really?
they made this.
That was their art project. Was trolling us.
Their art project was trolling us. That Van Damage DJ school. Did you guys go to that at all? Yeah, that was someone made that. We didn't make that.
No way.
That's so funny.
I got some of your stickers from that
Right?
booth.
Yeah, that's not our stickers. No. Someone made that. They're trolling us.
I love burners so much.
Oh, dude!
Oh my God.
The funniest thing was on Halloween for the Bass Bus Bazaar event. They had Ski Tour come play, and they got me so bad, man. I was running around the crowd. Ski Tour was playing, and I'm looking up there, and I was like, "That's not fucking Ski Tour. That's not them." I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Those guys are wearing fucking like wigs and costumes." Right. I was like, okay, well, either they didn't make their flight, they didn't get here, and they just decided to like wing it or troll or something, this and back and forth. And like after the set, fucking Tim comes like running over and
no, I pointed it out to you. I was just like,
okay, yeah, it was them, but they were dressed up as each other. Yeah, and I couldn't tell that it was them, and I was just like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Trolling is like definitely a thing in the burner community. There was like
it is an art in itself.
For sure. It's like memes, you know. It's like a new form of comedy. You know, it's like a little 10-second little thing.
That's gotta be. So do you know who did the Van Damme?
For sure.
Yeah, it's an honor, right?
Yeah,
it's a compliment.
So we have this thing. I guess is a good thing to say on here. If you have the Van Damage certified DJ school, if you bring that up when we're playing anywhere, you can like come play a couple tracks.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Like any gig we're at, like if you have that thing, you're like, yo, look, I'm a graduate.
I'm
like,
certified
come on
from
up.
the Van Damage school.
And either you can like play some of our songs, or
so this person dictated that to you guys, like
no, we just thought of that. We just kind of like built on it. You know what I mean? Like make it a thing. So yeah, if you have a Van Damage,
oh my god, you just put
school,
that out there.
That's cool. That's fun. We want to see how far it goes because it's definitely a cool
Callie's
thing.
just watching the movie.
I'm sorry.
This is a good part.
This is the
open
best
the pod
part.
bay doors, Hal.
I can't let you do that.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
But Dave's right here. You can't.
Dave's not here, man.
Oh, this movie's so great. I'm so stoked to watch Star Trek now.
Yeah.
We're going to just nerd out after this. What time do you guys got to get going? You guys start building the stage tonight?
5 minutes ago.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, but let me see. Yeah, 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
no,
Well,
6.
we're closing in on an hour and a half.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
Don't forget,
1:36.
Freezer Burn. We want you guys to play some tunes on our stage.
no, you don't have to
talk
pull
about
them
it.
out.
No, I don't think we're interested
Okay, that's
in
cool.
that.
I know there's a trash fence party. Daft Punk's gonna be there. You guys can maybe play that.
Yo, when did the Daft Punk trash fence joke start? Like, has it been a long time?
Yeah. I think since they did a set there, I think they played at Burning Man in 2004.
Hey, they're doing stuff again. This year might be the year.
I heard they're going to tour. That's what I've heard.
They said they're playing in 2017. Yeah. They're going to say they're playing limited shows, and some people are saying that there's a chance that they'll play Shambhala 20.
Whoa,
which would be a big deal.
But the thing is, and I know that everybody...
That's a total rumor. I'm not saying it's substantiated by anything, but...
If Daft Punk ever actually does play the trash fence, fucking nobody's going to be there.
Right. Or they've already played it like 3 times and nobody was there.
Who was it that trolled last year who dressed up like Daft Punk? Who got that going
Funk
again?
Hunters.
It was the Funk Hunters.
Yeah.
So we see it on the lineup and we know the joke and we're not trying to be swayed, but
we're feeding into it.
We're still feeding into it. We run up to the intersection of whatever it was, A and 7 or 7:30 or whatever, and we didn't realize it was supposed to be on an art car because that's where they were. They were on this art car, and we go to all of the corner camps, and we walk in, kind of shameful looking, like, all right, we know what this sounds like, but do you guys know where this thing is? And everybody just like laughs at us and like shakes their head, like,
not us, you.
You were standing far enough back to not be associated.
I was standing there being like, I can't believe you're doing this.
They got our first year out there, like, we already knew the joke going into our first year, so we, weren't into it at all. But Colton comes running up to our trailer just being like, guys, this is an actual thing. We're like, oh, Colton, oh, you poor thing.
You'll learn next year. Yeah. Okay, I gotta pee really bad.
Yeah,
so
okay, we can wrap it up.
Cool.
Thanks for kicking it.
Is there a song that you want to put into the...
What are you guys jamming to right now?
How about a corporate track?
Oh, you would.
I wonder where you heard that from.
You would. I found it on my own. Mm-hmm. Yeah, through a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Evoke has remixed a couple of corporate tracks as well.
Corporate's dope.
Yeah.
Corporate's like
fucking...
like a secret ninja thing that we don't share very often. So now we're talking about it.
Well,
so let's get it even more.
Let's go out on ice.
Ice is up.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. I hope, actually, I just thought about this. I hope that fucking him and his dumb face isn't going to get this yanked off YouTube.
Oh, no.
I'll have to blur it. I can blur the
Maybe
video
we
on
could
YouTube.
just put like a cool Genesa logo.
Yeah, I might that actually might work. I'll just break it up a bit and then, okay, yeah. But that's irrelevant. That's just an editing thing.
Good thing we have this video podcast that you're going to fucking bleep out all the...
Goodbye for now. Thank you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's go out on a proper cheers.
Have a good summer.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Hell yeah. All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.